liyi-1 eklasini libhale sengathi i-opportunity yakho yokugcina yokubhala lelo sentence lelo. That is the spirit of excellence. Stand on business. Stand on business. Stand on business.
Yes.
Stand on business. Because you have time. But actually you don't have time. You have it, but you don't. So I would like to encourage you, Uguti, stand on business. What makes you excellent is that you do something that others don't do. What makes you excellent, for example, maths, is that when they give you 5 problems, you do 6 to empower yourself. When they say read 1 book, you read 2 to empower yourself. That is what makes you unique. When you are an athlete and you are running 100 meters, you run 200 meters because you are empowering yourself. When they say this is the goal, you aim to do much more. You aim to go beyond.
Yes.
That is the spirit of excellence. So go beyond in your faith, in the sense that be consistent in your prayer, be consistent in studying the word, be consistent and not just do it for the sake of doing it. For the most part, uNkulunkulu wa-creator isikhathi. Mhlambe singagxilela kancane esikhathini. uNkulunkulu owa-creator isikhathi. And uNkulunkulu usi-create isikhathi chronologically to say uyavela namhlanje ube na 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is chronological time. In the Greek we call it the chronos. But there is also what we call in the Greek the kairos time, which means the appointed time. So uNkulunkulu created a chronological time, but as well who created an appointed time. In a year appointed time, isikhathi summer times and seasons. Ukuthi God can make it ukuthi this is your season to be a student. Akunika leyo grace leyo. As soon as those years akunika wona ukuthi ube student aphela, noma ungazama isikhathi siphelile, God has given you that season for you to be a student. Now it's time to move on. If God has given you isikhathi so ukuthi start this or do this, He gives you that grace for that specific time and season. Ngoba uye ocontroller isikhathi.
Yes.
We just control life. So ngenxa yaloko, we are also going to account not just what we did la emhlabeni as on a daily basis, but what did you do with the specific season akunika yona.
Wow.
What did you do in the season where God allowed you to be a school child? What did you do in the season where God allowed you to be a daughter? What did you do in the season where God allowed you to be a mother? What did you do in the season where God allowed you to be an uncle to a nephew or a niece? What did you do in the season that God allowed you to be a business person? We shall account one day. Because we have time, but actually we don't. We have, but actually we don't. And wisdom is understanding that when we say we have time, it means we have the ability to pursue the opportunities. But when we say we don't have time, we mean that we don't have time to waste. It's been 22 minutes.
Yeah.
So, bazalwane mndeni, be encouraged. Number one, life is spiritual. Kakulu. Life is very spiritual. It is not wise to think life is not spiritual. What we see here is a manifestation of what has already taken place in the spirit. Understand that, grasp it and walk in it. You cannot afford not to pray. You cannot afford not you cannot afford not to pray. You cannot afford not to take the things of God seriously. Life is very spiritual. I told my mentee, she's an artist, she wants to be an artist on piano, and she says she looks up to a specific character on piano. And I said to her, please look her up. And I said, do you understand what you look up to her? The reason why she is trending is because she acknowledges amadlozi. The reason why she's trending because she has a certain belief system and if there's one thing you should take from her is that she understands that life is spiritual, even though inkolo yakhe kuyenye mhlambe that is questionable, but that life is spiritual and she understands that yingakho a sacrifice for the music to be successful. Be careful also who you follow. Be careful who you look up to. You cannot be a daughter of God and look up to a celebrity who is half naked most of the time. You cannot want to be a lawyer and look up to someone who is swearing 90% of their time. What are you going to say in court as a lawyer? Because uzabu consume lezo intamba lezo I show you muntu oluka phansi yena. Be careful who you look up to. Understand ukuthi life is spiritual and understand ukuthi we have time but we actually don't have it. Senyaval. Can I pray with someone who's saying, God, I want to stand on business. God, I want to be serious about, I know I'm supposed to pray, but I don't. God, I want to be serious now. I know I'm supposed to read the word, but I don't. Now, I understand that life is spiritual. Are you here today? Quickly, 2 minutes.